everybody. I'm Jean-Louis Bouvier. I'm working at Le SAF as a technician. And today we are pleased to introduce a different way how to use a broil flour. So, as you know, broil flour is quite popular in Asia, especially Korea, Japan. But in France, with Le SAF, we are developing a different way to process the broil flour. So we use broil flour, but not so high temperature as you have here. The target of the final dough temperature after brewing is between 60 and 65, it's much less as you have here. So this temperature, in order to get less gluten damage during this brewing process, and by the way, we can get a better volume of the final bread, and also to keep the softness as we have with the broil process. So now we are pleased to introduce Brodinsky. Brodinsky is a Russian bread, typical in this country, and he uses broil flour as well, made from the rye flour. Normally, in Russia, the bread is very dense, and they use sometimes 50% rye flour to make the broil. So today we adjust a little bit the recipe in order to make like a chickpan Brodinsky, and we're going to use only 20% of the rye flour, and this 20% will do the broil from that. So we start to boil the water. So now we're preparing the water at 90 degrees as well for this broil flour. So we use rye flour, organic rye flour, 20% based on total flour. So it means here we have 20% rye, and in the final dough we get 80% wheat flour. So now water is at 90 degrees, so we stop and scale. Put the flour on and mix. So target 60-65 degrees. So now we leave the dough in a bowl. As you can see, the broil is well done. And we can wrap with the vinyl. So resting now it's minimum of 15 hours, 12 degrees. But sometimes we find some baker in Russia use also room temperature at 25 for 10, 12 hours before use it on the final dough. So now we'll do the final dough for Brodinsky. So as you have 20% rye here, we have 80% here, wheat flour, strong wheat flour. Total water is 70%, but here final dough 50, as we have 20 here. Salt 1.8%, sugar 6%, butter 6%, SSD gold we're going to put 1%, so 10 grams. And ibis yellow for softness and volume, we're going to use 0.2%. So ibis yellow is a clean label improver, no in number, and is very efficient in volume and also softness. So flour, 800 grams, 80%. Yeast, ibis yellow, salt, and sugar. So now we mix all the dry ingredients first before adding boiled rye flour and water. So now the boiled flour after the resting in 15 hours. And water. So now we can put the fat, butter, and go back to the low speed for 3 minutes. Okay, now the dough is mixing. We're going to stop. As you can see, the dough development almost is finished, we can say. Good extensibility. Okay, we can check the dough temperature. About 27 degrees as well. Okay. Now the dough is mixed. We're going to give a 1 hour, 60-minute resting. 25 degrees. You can leave at the room temperature or put in a puffer if it's too cold in the room. So in this dough, today we do plant, but you can add also some cumin, some raisin, in order to give more flavor or anything you like in your country. So 60-minute resting. So now we have the dough Brodinsky after 1 hour fermentation. So it's a gray color because of the rye. So dividing weight is 250 grams. Of course, the volume will be not so high as a regular chickpea because we have a 20% rye flour inside. We're going to do pre-shaping a bowl like that. And final resting before shaping will be 20 minutes. Also with 70% water. As you can see, the dough is not sticky at all. It's very good for this dough. So Now 20-minute resting at the room temperature, 25 degrees before shaping. So now the Brodinsky is ready for shaping after the 20-minute rest. We give shaping like a chickpan. As the dough is easy to degas because of the rye flour, we don't need to use a dough sheeter. Just do like that. And much easy to degas, because the total, gluten inside is much less as a sheet. Okay, so now we do the final shaping and roll like that. So now shaping is done. We're going to proof for about 70 minutes, also at 35-38 degrees. And target is not to get so big volume as we have for standard chickpan, because the dough, as I say, is not so strong. So we'll bake when it reach only the top like that. So now the Brodinsky is proof, as you can see, is almost a little bit less high as a standard chickpan, as we have a rye flour inside. So we're going to bake for about 30 minutes at 200, of course, depending on the oven. So this is a Brodinsky after bake. From outside, maybe you cannot see there is a rye flour, but there is a 20% rye flour, and as you remember, we use this rye flour to make the broil flour, and use after 15 hours in the final dough. So now we're going to slice. We use also dough weight 500 grams total, and as you can see, we have quite a good expansion and a good also size of the bread. The texture, of course, is not white. It's a little bit brown, gray, and also is very fine. In terms of softness, as you can see, there is also very nice softness because of the broil flour inside, and also the ibis yellow help for that. And this is a typical Russian bread. We adjust a little bit the recipe, but we can imagine to put some inclusion inside as a raisin or anything you have on your market. After tasting the bread, we feel, of course, the softness, the little bit mochi texture because of the broil flour, of the process, of the water level. And we feel also flour we use from the rye and give this specific taste to the bread.